Okay, so I just filmed the whole video on my first trimester and it was all out of focus, so we're gonna do this again. Okay, so in this video I'm going to go over how I found out I was pregnant, telling my boyfriend, telling my family, and just kind of how the first trimester went for me. So basically when I found out, and my phone's all the way up here, when I found out it was October 30th, so it was the day before Halloween, and the symptoms that I found that led up to me wanting to test was that I had a really burning itching sensation on my inner thighs, and I kind of at first thought, I got bit by something, or, that's just the most logical thing for me is I got bit. And so when I went and looked, I actually had a lot of stretch marks on my inner thighs, and I even looked this up after I had taken my pregnancy test and found that it was positive, that I hadn't seen that as a common symptom that most women may have, before they test just to see if they are pregnant. I hadn't seen that as a common symptom or many people having that as a symptom. So I'm not sure if that really, I just don't know why else I would have had stretch marks on my inner thighs, especially because they haven't grown, or anything like that I could notice. They just randomly showed up. It was burning, itching, I kept scratching, and I looked and I'm like, stretch marks, that's weird. So yeah, that's actually what prompted me to test, was the fact that I had just random stretch marks on my inner thighs, and I tested that day and I got a positive pregnancy test. I think I actually have some pictures on my phone. Yeah, I do have pictures on my phone. So I'll insert pictures that I took of my pregnancy test. I don't remember if it was that faint. I don't think it was. It was pretty, it was pretty clear. I wasn't like, am I really pregnant? I was like, yeah, I am. And so my boyfriend actually came home that night, and I believe I told him that same night. I can't remember. I think I did. Yeah, I told him later on. I remember I had talked to him throughout the day, but he was at work and I didn't want to be like, hey, by the way, I'm pregnant. I wanted to have him come home and tell him. We were planning on waiting another year before we wanted to start trying, so it was a surprise to both of us, but we are obviously very excited. And he came home and he was showing me his Halloween costume that he was putting together, and he had a wig that he was going to try on, and I was like, I have to tell you something. Like, I don't even think I held it in for more than 5 to 10 minutes after he walked in the door. So that definitely kind of threw him for a loop, and he was in a trance for a little bit, kind of just processing the news and everything. But we did have a really long talk that night about, how we were going to do things and how it was going to work and how we were excited. And so that's pretty much how it was with him. It wasn't, we lived together. We've lived together since 2010, 2011. Like, I don't know. Yeah, we lived together since 2011. So we've been living together for a while. So yeah, I told him, and he was, like I said, he took it how he took it, but we were really excited at the end of the day, so that's good. And then telling my mom, I think I told her a couple of days afterwards. I don't exactly remember the time that I told her, but she was really excited and surprised. She's like, oh, and she wanted to be the one to tell my dad. She wanted to play like a little joke on him and get a reaction out of him, and then be like, she's pregnant. So she told my dad, and my dad was really excited too. I think he called me. I think I called him after I called her to ask her if she told him, and so everyone was excited on that end. And I believe around that same time, my boyfriend told his parents, and they were excited, and it was just a really exciting time. Shocking, exciting, nerve-wracking at the same time, because this is uncharted territory. This is my first baby, so for both of us. And so yeah, it was very interesting. But I believe I had my first ultrasound at 6 or 7 weeks. I cannot remember. I know I had my first meeting with a nurse, I think that week. I think that week after I found out. So when I was like 4 weeks. Because I actually found out 2 days before. No, I did 2 days before my period was going to come. It was 3 weeks and 6 days. Is when I found out. So I found out pretty early, but with Kaiser they want to meet you, I guess, as soon as you find out. So I did a pregnancy test there. They told me it was positive, kind of gave me all this paperwork on all different types of things with pregnancy. And then I scheduled my ultrasound and then my first appointment with my nurse practitioner, and then also with my OB. So I had a 6-week ultrasound, and then I had a 12-week ultrasound where they test for Down syndromes and other possible abnormalities in the baby. And so I'll insert the 6-week ultrasound. I'm pretty sure it was 6 weeks, like 6 weeks in a couple days. And then the 12-week ultrasound, which again, I think it was like 12 weeks and something. But other than that, I didn't have any morning sickness throughout my first trimester. Again, really just their stretch marks. I had them in my inner thighs, and I actually started getting them on my hips as well. And then I believe at my 12th week was when I started, the line that goes down your belly started to get darker. But yeah, other than that, I had a pretty smooth first trimester. We announced our pregnancy to our friends and family, you know, everyone, when I was 10 weeks. So we did it for Thanksgiving. We had like I did a little photo shoot in my mom's backyard, and we just uploaded the picture of us expecting. And also a symptom that I had during the whole entire first trimester, but really it started picking up during the end of my first trimester, was hip pain. I had some pretty bad hip pain, which I didn't find out until almost my third trimester, was due to, I think it's PSD is the acronym, but basically where your body overproduces the relaxin hormone that loosens your joints. And so I had physical therapy and stuff, but I'll talk about that in my second and third trimester updates. But yeah, so I had some pretty bad hip pain, so a lot of limping was going on, even though I hadn't really started showing until my 12th week. And I'll also insert some pictures I think I took during my first trimester, because my boyfriend's mom wanted me to send her, or I have been sending her pictures of my bump, since I don't really post it on any of my social media accounts. So I'll insert some pictures that I sent to her throughout that time frame that are within the first trimester. But yeah, if you have any questions about going through the first trimester, or if you have any other questions, if you want to ask me any other symptoms I used the Ovia, is it Ovia? No, Glow. I used the Glow app tracking my periods, and then once I became pregnant, I switched to the Glow Nurture app. So I do have some of my symptoms recorded on there, but there really wasn't anything too significant. Again, no morning sickness. Nothing really besides the hip pain is what I experienced during my first trimester. But it's just crazy to see how far I've come. I'll be 34 weeks on Sunday, so that's pretty exciting. But again, any questions, any advice, anything like that, please feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I will get back to you. Thanks for watching, guys.